Alright, hey. I'm gonna review your game, because why not? I'm gonna use English because I learned most of the items and concepts in this game via English, and it's just overall more utility if I use English instead. Um, Team comp wise, I mean, your theme is obviously you wanna scale, and you're kinda worried about armor, which the enemy team cannot really opt to buy. Unless Seraphine gets Zhonya's, which is one item that doesn't really fit into her whole item build. Same with Cannon. Cannon can opt for Zhonya, same with Ari, but I mean, less damage late game against your team is just bad. Seraphine obviously going Barrier is a mistake. She should just go TP. You having Ignite is fine, but I mean, I'm just more of a fan of TP in general because you get to have that late game, mid game split push advantage with Irelia, which is just really strong to have. Ignite obviously helpful against early like benefit deficits that the enemy may have. Her pushing kinda bad because if the wave is on your side of the map, you just have more control over the management and also your Q stacks. You should just go in here, honestly, like QQQ auto attack, well QQQ and then on her Q and then auto attack, and just run her down with 3 stacks. It's like 4 stacks actually. It should be more than enough to out damage her auto attack potential. Keep in mind she's ranged, so you're just faster during the whole thing. This is obviously a blunder. I don't know why you opted for this aggressive attempt when, like, you could just wait like 30 seconds in which you get another trade off, or like, I don't know why all of these trades where you like Q'd on a minion and then auto attacked her. I don't know why you're going for like short trades. Irelia really excels at like these extended trades that you get with Conqueror and with your stacks on your auto attacks. So during these early minutes, it's important to just like learn to do these like really easy trades that benefit you so much as early game, especially on a weak champion like a caster that doesn't really have an answer to your engage. So yeah, if you do that, she's a lot lower, and then you could go for these kind of aggressive plays. But since she's almost full health and you're aware that she has barrier when you press tab, going for this dive is really risky. And then also you're clearly not aware of how much damage exactly you have in your combo to kill her or like to have a lethal. Yeah, so like this death is like really unlucky, I guess. High risk, high reward. And yeah, not knowing your lethal cap, like when you have a lethal. She's obviously also really bad. She should just push as fast as she can in recall. But again, relying on enemies to be bad is kind of a bad mindset, because if you go into higher elo games, you will be used to these concepts that you learn through your other games where you will be just relentlessly abused for it in higher elos. Maybe that's like one of your main problems with climbing, that you play a lot of games in like this elo and then you learn or get used to things around the elo. Yeah, kind of tilted with the CS department there, but again, like you dying early, having nothing to buy from a recall is kind of bad. I would just push this in here because she's kind of getting a freeze off, which means you get to lose more XP and she gaining more of a lead on you, which is not what you want, considering you have never lethal on Kane here. He just gets to E over a wall at any time. Yeah. Like even if he ran into you and decided to fight, which again, low elo mistakes, it's like unlikely to kill. Because he can just run away at any point. Like, Seraphine just gets to chill here while you roam and lose more XP and just gain more and more XP on you, which is not good. The bird camp is not even worth it, considering the patch buff, like the nerf to jungle camps. Leon also obviously doesn't get anything out of it, just wasting time in which he doesn't clear spot side and then rotate to top side, doing this and then reset, which is what you want on Mundo. I mean, yeah, relying on this, but then again, you don't have mana to follow it up. So calculating your mana is probably the right choice. And then being aware that you have a freeze angle here, like even earlier before the trade started. Like you have a angle to just freeze on her, which she doesn't get to answer. Because she has mana, sure. But you can't like perma push into Irelia. It doesn't work. So yeah, just using the advantage you're given instead of trying to force something that doesn't really work is better. And like being aware that you don't have enough mana to do things, considering you don't have Corrupting Potion this game. So you're a lot more limited in your fights or like fight opportunities. Again, here you're breaking the freeze for no reason. She should just be forced to recall, because if she stays like this and you get more mana from level up, you can like threaten an attack, and she's more vulnerable to ganks as well. So yeah, Leon kind of saving your ass here, giving you the option to just push this in and recall. Here a thing that I noticed you do a lot is you kill the melees first. You should just kill the ranged ones first, because they're easier to kill, do more damage to your wave, and help you better stack your passive faster, which just means more DPS on the wave and faster kill time. So maybe she misses the cannon here, instead of just those. Just a way to be more efficient at clearing waves, when your goal is to clear them as fast as possible, right? I like the recurve bow here because early you want a lot more damage on your auto attacks, because that's the main source of damage. But I think at this point in the game you're so close to 6 that Sheen would have been better, considering you want more like overall damage during a short engage, like with ult and E and auto attacks and Q, which all benefit from your Sheen, because they changed it and the resets on Sheen are a lot like faster now. So you get a bunch of Sheen procs in. So maybe Sheen would have been better than recurve bow here, but yeah. Again, she still has a massive XP lead on you just because you're opting to help your team instead of accelerating yourself. I don't know why she chose to like continue to fight here because you have Conqueror and your stacks, and yeah, it's just bad on her end. Unlucky that she charmed you though, because then there's no kill. You have flash now, so you could try to force something. She should respect your engage a lot more than she is doing it. Like, this is a kill actually here. She doesn't have a charm anymore, and you have flash to escape or flash her skill shot. So yeah. You're just opting for a lot of trades where you end up having no lethal on them. Or like, you have a lethal, but they randomly decide not to give you that opportunity. Getting a double here is obviously good, but I don't know why Kennen chose to run it down. I don't know why Kane chose to like not just run away when he could have. So yeah. Mistakes you cannot rely on. Again, Seraphine is really bad. She should just push waves like these and recall, instead of giving you the opportunity to catch them. this is kind of the stuff that you get relentlessly abused for in higher elo again. So, like, a lot of this stuff is just you make decisions based on MMR, but really it's not something you can rely on like consistently because you don't know how much the player knows. I'm not gold MMR and I know these things, so I would heavily abuse you on these things that you cannot counter in any way, because those are things that work consistently in any elo. So yeah. There's never a bot kill here for you, because, you know. And Kane running into you is also a mistake. They should know that you rotated, and they should know that you have nothing to do but wait for Kane to end, because bot is already dead. So Kane going for his red is obviously wrong. I don't know why you're not choosing to take your wave, because Kane is dead. And if you want the Drake, I mean, you should still push in your wave first, right? Why opt to lose XP and minion gold over a Drake when you can have both? And Mundo is good enough at soloing it, you know? It's Mundo. Even if your bot didn't help, which they don't. Getting a plating is good, but you should, like, look to recall after pushing this in. Let's see if you push the backlane first. Oh, you don't. I know that you're, like, trying to be aware that she is there, but really she has no damage to kill you if you're looking to reset anyway. So just push in the wave and ignore her damage. It's totally fine, because she doesn't have damage. Alright, so what's happening now is you didn't push fast enough and she gets to just do this, where you have no mana and she does, and she just gets to push this in, if she chose to do it, I mean. And you don't find a recall timer that way. Like, never, unless you kill her, which, you know, low mana. It's kind of hard. And you don't have sums. And she does. Like, recall here is bad. But obviously you're not getting punished. He just doesn't know. But you can't rely on that. He may have, like, on a hunch, chose to just instantly push instead. Just because he thought, hey, why not? And even if he didn't, you already lose, like, 4 minions again. Like, you could have had your 10 CS per minute thing, or even 11, since you took some camps, right? So that's just a lot of gold down the drain that didn't have to happen. And you didn't choose to, like, gain another advantage instead of the CS either. You just lost the CS for no reason. I like this ward because it's a lot more helpful against Kane. Or in general, even. I don't know if you discuss that he takes it or whatever, but if your plan was to take it, then, again, you're not paying attention to your lane first. Like, it's not a good trade if you get Scuttle, but then lose 4 minions or whatever. It's not a good trade. Not after the changes, anyway. Jungle stuff is just way more weak now than your minion wave. Should be your highest priority. Again, these are not factors you can control. So, like, getting a double kill here instead of getting the platings, you know. You choosing to do things for team morale, I guess. But what's the point? If you fall behind, it's bad. In any game. Like, none of these are guarantees. Oh, here, something I noticed. You shouldn't have to flash. You should absolutely not flash here. Because the ult gives you a reset on Xivir. right? So I will slow it down. Okay, so the ult gives you a reset on 0, right? So when you ult here, I'm aware that you want to kill Ahri as fast as possible. I don't know if she used her third Q, ult yet, but it doesn't really matter. There's a cooldown on it, right? So if you ult, just QQ. It's so much easier. You don't have to flash. And then if you're worried that you need your second Q reset on Zivir to kill her, don't be, because look at your items. You have a slow and a lot of attack speed and full stacks. And she's way too far away from the tower to even reach it before you kill her, even under the circumstance where you Q twice on her. I don't know where your E went in this whole situation. Let's just find out, because why not? Okay, so I think you missed your E here. Yeah, so I mean, those are just, mechanic things. So your E is gone from the fight. W here doesn't make a difference if you did, because, physical damage. Yeah, I would just, the flash is so unnecessary, honestly. Like, you kill Ahri either way, and then you ignite Zubir anyway, so she has no way to survive. Even if she heals, there's just no way. You have full stacks and Conqueror. Like, you saw like how unnecessary the second Q was to kill her. She had already like one more auto attack and she's dead. Right? So like those kind of flashes don't mean anything. Just rely on your stacks. Also, in a more like universal sense, now that you chose to flash, you don't have flash up for Drake, right? If Drake was something worth contesting for the team, the enemy team, I mean, then having no flash here is kind of a bummer. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think you pinged him because you ruined your engage, right? Like the second engage, because now she's like scared that Mundo is gonna gank or whatever. Again, pay attention to your mana. You're getting in a really like weird situation again where you don't have mana, you don't have a way to sustain, but you can recall because there's no wave. Like at this point in the game, she can push a cannon wave fast enough to get it under your tower while you recall. Again, she doesn't know, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. So you just lose another cannon wave here. You could make the argument that, you don't need the gold from minions because you're getting kills. But again, if those kills only happen because of enemy mistakes, those are not things you can predict. Those are not like consistent. Imagine if you had flash here and just get these two kills, So much better. If you really want a Drake here, then this is fine. But if you don't like opt for the Drake after, then you're just losing more stuff. Like at this point it would have been 2 waves for, killing bot again, which aren't worth gold. If you stay bot, maybe. But Thresh should just go. No, but you're going mid again. Okay. Like, see all these waves that you would have lost if she just played correctly? She's even in CS, like... This should never happen. And it does make a difference. I'm pretty sure you're aware that like 4 waves of CS is more than just all of these kills and whatever happened. Which are all like guaranteed things anyway, because your team is strong enough at this point where they can just dominate. Your goal should just be to like maximize your own income. At the start of your queue, you should just press W, just because you know that she's gonna ult or like Ahri's gonna charm you or whatever. Because your queue is basically like a guaranteed spot where you land, right? So it's easy to skill shot you. So you know that you're gonna get stunned or charmed. So you should just W to, you know, sustain a bit more of Kane's damage if it mattered, you know. It's something that's good to get used to. But obviously you're so far ahead that it doesn't matter. But I don't think you like consciously chose to not W because of that. I think you just didn't think about it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to say at this point. It's just, let's see if you push the backline first. Nope. I mean, wait. Yeah, now you could. Then again, Ahri's just inting. Don't think it mattered here. I'm not a fan of, or like, I don't know your thought process behind buying Eclipse, because like, I don't know what it is that you think this item gives you that other item choices just don't. If it's the lifesteal, just be aware that Omnivamp doesn't stack with Doran's Blade. And then also, like, getting multiple instances of small percentage of healing is less than amplifying your damage, which is then used to determine your lifesteal vamp, right? So like having more base damage will increase your healing as well. If it's the lethality, I mean, you get more burst of like Trinity, I mean, because you want to do damage with your auto attacks and your Q. So I don't know what it is about this item that you like. They don't have an option for a lot of armor either. Like I discussed in the beginning, they could opt for Zhonya's, but it's more like it's bad for them to go Zhonya's here. So it's not really something you need pen for. Which also means that Seraphine doesn't get to opt for armor boots. You know, it's just not something they can do. The only person who has armor this game is Kayn. And he, I believe, opted for Red Kayn, right? Yeah. Like, he's the only problem in this game, but you're so far ahead that there's no point in doing it either. And you have 2 true damage dealing teammates. Which are both ranged too, so you don't have to worry about like the front line taking no damage. Your job should just be to one-shot the squishies, for which you don't need lethality. Trinity is just better, because you get your Sheen reset faster. And you get all the stats you need from Trinity. Essence Reaver is not that good at an item on Irelia. The only 2 options I really consider worth going are Gore Drinker and Trinity. But Gore Drinker got nerfed, so I don't know anymore. Gore Drinker was good if you're into like heavy melee comms, where you're the phase tanker. Because you get to just phase tank their engage and then do your damage afterwards with Last Stand. Yeah, you're going for coup de grace too. I don't know why. You get much more value out of Last Stand than coup de grace. Okay, that was the end of the game. Yeah, those are like my 2 cents on this. My knowledge or like my assumptions based about this are like all based on like parts of personal experience, just learning Irelia, and like looking at high elo Irelia players play, and like stuff like watching us commentate on general game things like, you know, wave manipulation, stuff like that. So if you want to challenge me on any of these points, it's usually based on those kind of things. So yeah, that's basically all. I really want to know why you went for Eclipse though. That's something I really don't know. But yeah, that's it.